Both practice and research show that meditation is one of the most effective and safest ways to relieve melancholy, nervousness, anxious agitation, and inner tension. Meditation calms and stabilizes the psyche, lifts your mood, and reduces stress. From a physiological point of view, it is one of the best anti-stress methods that does not require any medication unless there's a specific medical need. When practiced regularly, meditation can truly teach a person to enter the default state more quickly, a state in which one can hear their own thoughts and ideas. In that state, you can feel what you genuinely need and find the inner images that motivate you. What becomes your dream in this state is your dream, not one imposed by society, logic, utility, or pragmatism. In this default state, mechanisms of self-healing begin to activate. This is genuinely beneficial for health-lowering cortisol and adrenaline-reducing blood glucose and decreasing weight. It also lowers blood pressure and reduces psychosomatic symptoms. A low cortisol level is a direct path to a long, healthy life and a strong immune system. That is why practicing under the guidance of good teachers or following established schools with well-tested methods is so valuable. I highly recommend it to everyone. A remarkable therapist once formulated an important idea. A meditative trance state is therapeutic in itself, even if you simply turn inward. As I have mentioned before, we have a structure called the reticular formation that evaluates the significance of external signals. The amygdala makes the decisions, and when there is not enough information, a state of anxiety and fear arises triggered by the amygdala. Physiologically, this means constriction of blood vessels in the internal organs and a redirection of blood flow to the muscles, brain, and sensory organs. Different areas of the brain are active depending on what we are doing. For example, when watching TV, the visual analyzer zone lights up on a scan. But there is a special state called the brain acid default mode, where all brain functions shift from the external circuit to the internal one. Only in this state can a person hear their own thoughts and feel what they truly want. In this state, mechanisms of self-regulation and self-healing switch on and begin repairing things. The brain works like this. You can tidy your home only after the guests leave, and once external demands fade, it turns inward to repair. This default mode becomes possible only when the reticular formation fully calms down and concludes there are no external signals requiring a reaction. The reticular formation calms down very slowly, like a cat that hears a sound checks and then keeps its ear tense for several more minutes. Only after a period without any signals does the ear relax and fall asleep, and only then does the reticular formation calm down. We enter this default state no earlier than 20 to 25 minutes after the last message or external stimulus. Only then does the brain calm down and recognize that no external reactions are required. It no longer needs to adapt physiology to outside signals. When enough time has passed and I enter this state, the meditative mode allows me to hear signals from within. I can sense my own thoughts, ideas, and what I want to eat. I can tell how much I want something and what I dream about. In this state, I can sense whether I should continue communicating with a person. I can feel whether I should do business with someone. I can know whether I want to eat meat or drink red wine. And only in this state, with proper training, can one feel whether they should board a plane. This trance-like state emerges 20 to 25 minutes after the last external signal. The goal of all meditative practices is to train the ability to enter this state more quickly. From a physiological perspective, this is a feature of trance states. Trances are natural brain states we enter constantly, but they are not yet the default mode. The default mode appears only when there are no external signals. It does not have to be sitting on a mat in a lotus pose. The task of meditation is to help a person enter this state faster by feeling safe and turning off information sources. If enough time passes, they drop into the default state, and this produces a powerful therapeutic effect. If there is a program of action, proper meditations include an algorithm and specific intention. There are tools like mantras, where repeating them engages the speech apparatus and the ears hear it. There is also visual symbolic meditation, like focusing on paintings with a deliberately open corner, or meditating on a hieroglyph that contains a spectrum of meanings when rethought. I can concentrate attention on a part of the body, such as chakras, and fill it with meaning. Directing attention to a chakra can evoke energies even if nothing physiological is there. This is normal and is what meditation is, studied through neurophysiology and brain science. We developed meditations combining neurophysiology, psychotherapy, psycholinguistics, and subliminal anchoring called neuromeditations. Strictly speaking, we are not always using the word meditation correctly because origins come from ancient practices predating prayer. We shift between trance states hundreds of times a day as altered states of consciousness. Eyes can look at one thing, while the brain shows a memory instead, and that is a trance. When the internal image is brighter than the outside view, that is a deep visual trance. If watching TV, then switching to an important radio signal is an ideal trance involving selective analysis. Blocking out unimportant external sounds while analyzing a chosen input is a deep ideal trance. Walking with a heavy briefcase, then talking to a friend can make the case feel lighter in an aesthetic trance. When auditory, aesthetic, and visual trances combine multiple sensory systems, create a deeper state. The channel through which instructions are transmitted, what a person should imagine, is called rapport. When I read a fairy tale to a child, rapport is being formed. Once it is established, the child falls asleep while still hearing my voice on an unconscious level. Everything else fades out, and only my voice remains as this channel stays active. The reticular formation tunes itself exclusively to this channel because it considers it important. If the child has fallen asleep, the story I was reading must be finished. Fairy tales always end well, and they always resolve the conflict. Heaven forbid the child falls asleep at the climax or at the moment a problem appears. Then the child will spend the whole night running from that problem and trying to solve it. You must finish the story. After that, there's a wonderful opportunity for proper therapeutic suggestion. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you will be in a good mood with a good memory, and you will be kind and positive. Everything will work out for you. You are a confident, strong person, and your talents are developing. You communicate with others with interest. Everything you want to say without using the word no should be said. You will see how quickly your child begins to change because everything received in this state goes straight into the subcortex. It is not analyzed, not questioned, not debated by consciousness. It settles like bricks into the foundation of personality. If I say the same things to a person in a conscious state, their consciousness begins to resist and check. It depends heavily on how much they trust me and how competent they believe I am. The brain starts looking for ways to avoid the suggestion. If I say, I will learn English, the associative zones respond with past failures. If I say, I want to quit smoking, past attempts appear in the mind. This internal debate does not occur when the brain is in a trance state. The phrase falls like a brick into the foundation, and this is the essence of meditative states in trance. Meditation in the classical sense has a triad of concentration, meditation, and contemplation. Concentration is practice, where in trance I set a transformational task and focus on an object. The brain focuses on a single ideogram, symbol, or chakra as the only object. For example, I meditate on the hieroglyph for harmony and cycle through images in a trance state. The brain focuses completely, so only that hieroglyph or concept of harmony remains. Once attention is sharpened and the world disappears, the brain moves to meditation, searching for harmony everywhere. This search may take 15 minutes or 2 weeks, as the brain examines all combinations where harmony can exist. The third stage is contemplation, where I enter a new understanding of harmony and reinterpret the world. The goal of the triad is to emerge as a different person. Tomorrow or next month, I will repeat the procedure with a different meaning and change again. This is classical meditation, entering a trance where a person finds their default mode and hears their own thoughts. The default mode activates self-regulation, allowing the body to begin healing itself. The visual cortex varies. Some can imagine and hold an image all day long. Drawing is not done with the hand, but with the eyes projecting an image onto paper to be traced by the hand. People can draw a portrait from memory because they project the imagined image and trace it. To learn this, you need to visualize and hold the picture with special exercises. This is the art of the artist: imprinting, projecting, and tracing with the hand. After that comes techniques such as Cézanne's or Dali's, where the ability to hold an image lasts for days. Dali called it the paranoid critical method, the ability to hold an image in the mind for days. Meditation is the best daily practice. The first essential one is the morning meditation, a meditation for the day ahead. Doctors do not recommend jumping out of bed the moment you wake up. It is better to stay lying down for 2 to 3 minutes so the body can adjust. The awakened brain and the active body need a moment to sync. I strongly recommend spending these first minutes simply resting in bed. Getting up too quickly can be dangerous for the heart. These minutes are ideal for a morning meditation. Morning meditation is when I imagine how my day will unfold in the best possible way. Suppose today I have a test, a job interview, and a contract signing. I imagine arriving at the test and everyone treating me positively. I feel confident and calm as I take the test and complete it successfully. I leave while being praised, and I feel gratitude toward the people who were there. Then I imagine arriving at the interview and finding a kind, genuinely interested person. We have a great conversation, and they say, "You are hired." Again, I feel gratitude for the opportunity and the people involved. Then I imagine taking the exam and walking out with the highest grade. Why is this necessary? First, mental rehearsal sets priorities among the situations. I already understand what to do if something gets canceled or rescheduled. Second, I have already met these people in my mind and feel positively toward them. When I arrive in real life, they will sense this attitude. In the evening, it makes sense to do subjective meditations where I suggest what will happen next. I can use a voice recorder to record affirmations while in a relaxed state. While in a trance state, I can use techniques like the future gaze to create an image of the future. This tunes the brain to gather resources toward that future and becomes a self-fulfilling dream. These techniques done in the evening before sleep help dreams manifest and desires come true. The brain spends the whole night figuring out how to achieve them. Meditation itself is just a technique. Ultimately, your thinking and your life depend on how well you understand how the world works. You can meditate and relieve stress, but stress often results from misunderstanding the world. This is about worldview, your place in the world, and the rules that govern it. Remember, meditation is not a magic pill, but a tool to hear ourselves and manage resources. Everything you practice becomes a brick in the foundation of your inner world and resilience. Start small. Give yourself a few minutes in the morning and fill your day with attention. In the evening, reinforce transformation through visualization and meditation. Gradually, you will notice changes in mood problem-solving, communication, and achieving goals. The key to success is consistency and mindfulness. The more you practice, the faster your brain will enter the default state and self-regulation improves. And most importantly, enjoy the process, because meditation is a path to yourself and your true goals. Practice. Explore, rediscover yourself in your life. Thank you for being with us. Practice, harmonize, and create your life with your own hands. See you in the next videos. If you enjoyed this video and want to continue exploring, subscribe to our channel, The Power of the New Me. Be sure to leave comments, share experiences, ask questions, or tell us how meditation is changing your life. We read every message and are happy to discuss your discoveries. Remember, together, we create a community where every step toward oneself makes us stronger and more harmonious. Subscribe, comment, and become part of the journey toward your new self.